Hello guys, welcome to episode number 31 of my Football Manager 2023 European Journeyman Save, where we're aiming to win every top tier division that is in the European nations in the game. Starting again as usual on my manager profile, trying not to give too much away. You can see reputation wise we're still at that 50%. We're starting to develop some really good attributes as a manager now. We are 2/3 of the way through our season in the Northern Irish Premier League, the Danske Bank Premiership there. It's our second season here with Glenavon. You can see in terms of awards this season, we've won Manager of the Month 4 times this season. And I must say that things are going absolutely fantastic. We are absolutely smashing the league. And there's absolutely no way that we are not ticking Northern Ireland off the sheet this season. We are 17 points clear at the top of the table from Cliftonville. We have had an unbelievable season. 24 out of 25 wins. The only defeat was that 2-0 to Linfield, who are actually down in 5th place at the minute at Linfield. Ballymena United breaking into the top 4 there. But Cliftonville have picked up some form as well. They are now clear in 2nd place, but we've been on fire this season. So going back through the fixtures, obviously the last time you were here it was this 2-1 win against Cliftonville. We then had Coleraine in the Bet McLean Cup quarter-final. Unfortunately, we did lose that game. A much rotated squad from us. A lot of players coming in who don't normally feature in the first team, although we do have a really small squad, so not really comparable, because our strongest squad is pretty much our full squad. We've only got about 16-17 players here. We did get revenge on them a couple of days later, though, in the league, and it was a comfortable 4-1 win in this one. Fernando Toledo with the penalty, Levi Smith and Matthias Nabe grabbing a couple of goals in this one. You can see that we had 25 shots in total with only 7 shots on target, but we did score 4 of them, which was fantastic. We dominated the ball. You know, we've playing really well. So Toledo scored the first one, a great penalty by the Spaniard. McKendry equalised, though, for Coleraine with a thumping free kick. Drove that into the top corner, but then Levi Smith, our own free kick maestro, bagged himself one there to make it 2-1. Into the second half, though, Stockton with the ball towards the back post. It's Levi Smith again, pulls it across for Nabe. Gets a little bit fortunate with the break of the ball coming back off Todd there, but Nabe, who he's been in fantastic form. Or is it Nabe or Nabe? Leahy making the second one, though, for Nabe. I don't know which one it is, but again, he got really fortunate with the finish there. Next up was the Mid-Ulster Cup semi-final against Ballymacash Rangers, the team who we beat in last year's final. We absolutely thumped them 8-0, which was great. Crusaders were up in the league, though. Another 4-1 win here. Graham Shields with a double, Levi Smith and Alan Cisse. Josh Kelly with a late reply for Crusaders. But we are just continuing, sort of where we've been all season. We are smashing goals past teams. Shields does well with that initial one. Gets it back from Heskey. Drives into the box outside of his right foot into the far post for an absolutely fantastic finish. Levi Smith again pops up with another free kick identical to the one in the last game. And I believe he got a second from a free kick. No, he didn't. It hit the post, but Cisse was the first man to react. Lamore went long with this one. It was a good header by Cisse. Toledo with the first time ball forward into Shields, and it's a great finish for Shields for his second goal of the game. We then sort of fell asleep towards the end. It was a great tackle by Dennison, but McGonigal picked it up, played it across for Kelly. Little bit of lapse of concentration there from the lads to concede that one so late on. We scored 4 again for the 4th successive game where we scored at least 4 goals. Nabe Toledo with 2 in this one, and Charlie Carter came in on the left-hand side for Levi Smith. A little bit of a rest for Smith in this one. Leahy forward towards Carter for the first one, into Nabe, and he drove it sort of through the goalkeeper, really. The goalkeeper should really have been saving that. Toledo got his first from the penalty spot, another thumping penalty from the Spaniard. And he didn't have to wait long for his second. It was Nabe playing the ball out wide to Whitlow, pulls it across. It's Carter. So, beg your pardon, it wasn't Toledo with the next one, it was Carter. Good football all round there Toledo got his second into the second half. It was a ball across Nabe to Toledo on the edge of the area, and another great finish by the Spaniard. He's really started to come into his own, has Fernando Toledo. He's actually a really, really good player for this sort of level of football. Not quite sure about the haircut, though. Not quite sure about the haircut. So after that, it was Warren Point, and we only scored 3 in this one. But we did keep a clean sheet. Charlie Carter, Graham Shields and Matthias. I'm going to start saying Nabe. But you can see XG there in the bottom left corner. We had 4.05 XG, 31 shots in total. Cisse with the good ball over the top towards Nabe. Pulls it back for Carter, and it's an easy finish for Carter, really. But again, good football by the lads. And this 4-2-4 formation that we seem to have settled on is started to really work well for us. Toledo with the ball forward into Shields, and it's another comfortable finish for the front man. Toledo involved again, though. Into the second half for the second one, it was Jaden Heskey this time with the ball across towards Carter. Brings it down on his chest for Nabe, who just slots it past the goalkeeper for 3-0 in this one. And Warren Point, the team, currently sat in bottom of the league, I believe Warren Point are. One thing with Warren Point, I think it's Warren Point, is if we have a look at the manager history, it is Warren Point. They sacked the manager, Nathan McConnell. He was there for a year and 57 days. Obviously, they were bottom of the league. They brought in Ryan Curran. He lasted 20 days and they sacked him. He had 6 games in those 20 days. He drew one of them and lost 5 of them with a 0% win ratio. 20 days until he got sacked. Joe Gormley has already done better than that in his first 2 games. He's got 1 more point than the 20-day manager had. But Ballymonallard were next up. It was another 4-0 win in this one. Whitlow, Toledo again, Chanchy Fye and Graham Shields. Lewis Francis was sent off early on for Ballymonallard, which made the game just much, much easier for us. But Nabe bring the ball forward into Smith, back for this game. It's now Carter, a looping cross, deflected off the defender. Whitlow's there at the far post, though, to head it past the goalkeeper. Toledo bagged another one with a Panenka penalty, audacious from the Spaniard. And now Smith with the corner. Chanchy Fye, powerful, powerful header. Good jump from the young man. And Nabe played the ball forward towards Whitlow. Thompson wins the header, though, but Nabe shows the desire to get it back. Crosses on the volley for Graham Shields. And Graham Shields with a great finish. All the work done there by Nabe, who picked up the man of the match in that one. It was Glentoran next, the team who we thumped 6-1 on the first day of the season. And it was another comfortable win over them this time, a 4-2 in this one. Nabe bagged himself a hat-trick, a 10.0 average rating. We did actually go behind early on in this one before pulling them back, but then we went behind again. So it was heading for a 2-2 draw until Whitlow stepped up, and then Nabe finished the job off as well. But Marshall with the first goal penalty. Isaiah almost got there before a corner from Smith in towards Toledo, headed clear though, but Smith gets it back, drives into the area, just fires it towards that far post, and Nabe's there just to poach it. But Glentoran did take the lead again. Ball forward towards Hall, pulls it across for Lindores, who always seems to score against us. Lindores, but that seemed to spark us into life into the second half. Now Smith forward to Nabe, pulls it across for Whitlow, unselfish from Nabe. Whitlow's got a tap in at the far post, really. And then we took the lead. Took the lead not long after that. Whitlow down the right hand side this time turns provider for Nabe. We've got some really, really good partnerships flowing in this team. Toledo feeding the ball into Shields. Nabe's off on his bike. It's a good ball forward towards him. Nabe brings it under control and fires past the goalkeeper for his hat-trick, and 4-2 to Glenavon. Next up was Larne. Now, I was expecting this one to be a difficult game, and it was quite a difficult game. It was very, very even, but we popped up with a winner in the 87th minute. We went ahead fairly early on through Graham Shields in the 22nd minute before Matthew McBride equalised for Larne in the 84th minute, and I thought there was a draw on the cards there. I'd have settled for that. But the first goal was an absolute thunderous strike from Graham Shields after the ball crossed by Purrington. But they did equalise, like I say, in the 84th minute. Croft playing the ball over the top towards McBride. Gets a little bit fortunate with the Chanchy Fye challenge there. But thankfully, we did step up 3 minutes later, and it was Carter feeding the ball over the top towards Nabe. A nice little volley there. over the top of the goalkeeper into the empty net to make it 2-1 to Glenavon again. And we followed that up with a 3-0 victory over... I've clicked the wrong button. I've clicked the wrong button. Awesome. I'll just have to wait for it to load. In fact, I should be able to click this browse button. No, it's having a go slow. Oh, here we go. Are we back? Are we still on the schedule? Yes, we are. Yeah, we followed that up with a Dungannon 3-0 victory away from home. Whitlow with a double in this one, and Graham Shields bagging himself a goal as well. Another game which we dominated. We did give up a lot of XG though, at 1.4, and you can see that by Isaiah's rating there in goal. He had a green rating, which means he had a good game. Ball over the top though, nice and simple. Whitlow brings it down. Comfortable finish into the bottom corner for 1-0. That took 22 seconds. We added another one just before half time. It was Smith into Heskey. Again, the ball forward. This time Shields is there to put it past Gartside in goal, who came out. Nothing he could do about that though. And then early on in the second half, we sealed the deal with the third. It was Smith feeding Whitlow. Great curling effort from the edge of the area. I believe that actually won goal of the month for that particular month, which was December. See how many games of football we play in the space of a month in Northern Ireland. It's crazy. We did exact some revenge on Linfield in the next game though, for condemning us to our only defeat of the season, a 2-1 victory at home. Again, it was another close game. Dylan Murphy gave us the lead early on with... No, he didn't. Beg your pardon. Paddy Bingham scored inside the first minute, and I thought Linfield were going to do it to us again. It was good work down the right hand side by Hagan. Bingham fires it across there, and it took 53 seconds for Linfield to take the lead. We did rally back though. 16th minute, Perrington with the ball across, loops up off the defender, and that's probably one of the strangest goals that I've seen in Football Manager. The goalkeeper did nothing, and then early on to the second half, it was Shields down the right hand side with some good work to win the ball back, pulls it across for his strike partner in Nabe, and that made it 2-1, and that was revenge exacted on Linfield for that earlier defeat in the season. That brought a close to December. Next up was a Ballymena United, a 4-2 victory over the team flying high at in the top four. Whitlow grabbed himself a hat-trick in this one. Some squad rotation there. You can see Nabe's not in the squad. Whitlow moved up front for this one, and he repaid the faith in us. But it was Smith driving down the left-hand side in this one, feeds it across towards Shields. Good tackle by Stewart, but the ball fell kindly for Whitlow. And it was only a couple of minutes later that we grabbed a second. It was Clyde through the middle. I believe he pulls it across for Whitlow. He does. It's to tap in. So 2 goals in 2 minutes for Antonius there. Into the second half to make it 3. It was McCann with the ball forwards towards Shields, who again pulls it across for Whitlow, and that was his hat-trick. And then I thought that we were going to give it all up here because that was 3-0 up, but Ballymena scored 2 in quick succession. Ball forward towards Glenfield, brings it down, fires past Isaiah to make it 3-1. And then just 5 minutes later, they brought the deficit down to just the 1 goal. Dawes with the ball forward into Flynn. And it's a good finish there by Flynn. But thankfully, our blushes were spared. In the 85th minute, it was Donnelly with the ball forward towards Shields. Cleared by Stewart again, but McCann just volleys it into the empty net from outside the area to make it 4-2. And another fantastic win on our little run that we've had. Now, this was a really, really tight game against Warren Point, and I was quite impressed by them just to pick up the 1-0 victory. XG-wise, they didn't do a lot, but this team are bottom of the league, and I'll show you them at bottom of the league. Obviously, after we've gone through the highlights, they are a long way bottom of the league. It was a game in the snow, this one. It was Smith feed McCann, gets it back from McCann, nods it down into Shields in the 72nd minute for the only goal of the game. And if we have just a quick look at Warren Point, they're cut adrift. They're on massive goal. They've conceded 51 goals in 25 games, so they're averaging 2 goals a game conceded. They've only won 1 game all season. That was a 3-0 over their fellow relegation strugglers. Just in case any of you are wondering how Anna are doing, they are currently sat top of the table. So that's good going from Anna to bounce straight back. Just 2 more to go through then. It's Coleraine in this one. A 3-0 victory away from home. Antonius Whitlow with 2. Larry McCann with another one. Again, we've got Whitlow up front in this one. Still resting Nabe. Trying to give some players a little bit of a break. But we took the lead in the 38th minute. It was Leahy feeding Smith down the left-hand side, does really, really well. Whitlow's all by himself in the penalty area again, and it's just another tap-in for Antonius there. We were made to wait until the 65th minute for the next one, though. It was good work again by Smith down the left-hand side. Finds Toledo. Great ball across towards McCann. McCann fires it in to make it 2-0. We did then have 2 goals disallowed, but Nabe brought on as a substitute. Looping cross again, and Whitlow's the first one to react there. Just outmuscles his defender, and that was in the 93rd minute to make it 3-0. And then finally, more recently, it was Glentoran again. Another 4-2 victory over Glentoran. This time, Charlie Carter, Whitlow and McCann with the goals. Barry Higgins and Padraig Lindores again scoring against us. Like you say, he always scores against us. But the first goal came pretty early on in the 3rd minute. It was Heskey feeding the ball across towards Carter, and it was a good header by Carter there. Glentoran did equalise almost instantly, though. Oko Flex on the left-hand side pulls the ball across for Higgins, who fires it into the roof of the net. So that's 1-1 after 7 minutes. After 13 minutes, it was 2-1. Good ball forward by Toledo. Whitlow's onto it. And the goalkeeper a little bit unlucky there not to save that one. But Glentoran with an instant reply. Lindores latching onto a long ball. Little dink over the goalkeeper. And it was 2-2 in the 14th minute of the game. But we did seal the game in the first half. Carter breaking down the left-hand side. Great ball over the top towards Whitlow. Brings it down comfortably. And it's a nice finish back across the goalkeeper for 3-2. And then 34 minutes, McCann with a great free kick from quite some distance out, by the way, to make it 4-2. So that leads us into today's game, which is going to be, you can see there I'm still 3 days away from it. It's going to be against Ballinmanallard in the league. Now, they are currently sat in 11th place, but we are 2/3 of the way through the season. So I'm just going to quickly click forward through these 3 days. Obviously, I'll come back and we'll knock the match off and then call it a day for the episode. Right, guys, welcome back then. We've made it to the game. Much rotated side for today. You can see just how many players in our squad actually need a rest. So it is a very, very rotated squad. Isaiah is probably the only recognised goalkeeper in the first team, so he starts in goal. McMinn, who's not actually a right back, he can play here though, but he's going to come in as the right back today. Dennison and Chancey Fight, the 2 centre halves, with Donnelly as the left back. Jaden Heskey and Clyde are going to be playing as the 2 playmakers in midfield, with McCann and Smith as the 2 wide players, with then Shields and Nabe up front. Now, I'm expecting quite an easy win here, to be honest, against Ballinmanallard. They are sat 11th in the league out of 12, so it should be an easy win, but it is 2/3 of the way through the season, which is in keeping with, you know, how I've done things throughout the whole series, really. So yeah, like I could have come back. I think I've got Cliftonville in 4 games time, but then we'd be nearly at the end of the season, and it's pretty much a moot point anyway, because we're that far ahead in the league. So we've got an early highlight for Ballinmanallard. It's a great save by Isaiah, but nobody challenged Ferry for the second ball there, and we've actually gone behind against Ballinmanallard inside the 5th minute. It was a really, really good header at the back post. Great corner by Birmingham. Great header. It's a great save by Isaiah. But these 3 defenders just all turned off, and none of them thought that they should be putting any pressure on Patrick Ferry for that second ball there. It's Chancey Fye now with the ball. Finds McMinn, the makeshift right back. He's gone along. It's a shocking pass though, but the defenders completely missed it. And now Nabe's through into the penalty area. Has he got any support? He doesn't need it. He gets the shot off, but it's a comfortable save in the end for Bell in goal. It's just a catalogue of errors there in defence and in the attack, really. It's now Topley comes forward for Ballinmanallard. It's Shevlin gets it back into the penalty area. He's gone for that near post. We're 2-0 down here. We're 2-0 down to second bottom of the league. Ballinmanallard. Maybe I shouldn't have rotated the squad at the side as much as I have, but we just don't have we just don't have the options. You've seen how small my squad is. It's great play by Shevlin. It should never have gone for that effort there at the near post. Should have pulled it across first time, but it did work out for Ferry. This actually pulls Ballymonallard out of the relegation zone and drops Newry City in there. But those three teams at the bottom are miles behind the next best team in Dungannon on 31 points. They've more than doubled the amount of points of the bottom three. And we're in at half time, 2-0 down. This is not good enough. We are going to get shouty out there, boys. McCann looks disheartened. Well, you should have played better then, mate, shouldn't you? Maybe you wouldn't look disheartened. There we go. I've turned it round. It appeared he's now inspired, apparently. As long as we go and get the win, I'd like to wrap up this league title as early as possible. As now Clyde breaking out of defence on the counter-attack for Glenavon. Finds Narbe. It's Smith. Clips Smith's heels. Just shows you how bad the football is here in Northern Ireland. Donnelly is beaten to that one. Chancey Fye uses his strength really well. Now it's Donnelly and Clyde into Heskey. Dennison finds McMinn on the right-hand side. Now it's Heskey again. Finally got our foot on the ball, passing it around. McMinn with the back heel to McCann with the back heel to McMinn. McCann now looking for Shields. That's a shocking pass, and it's easily cut out by Irvin. But he's going to give the ball straight back to us, and Dennison. Now it's Clyde over the top towards Narbe. No, it's Shields instead, and it's another comfortable save in goal for Bell. We did well to work the opening there, but just not the best of finishes. Again, Francis with a deep free kick, looking towards Little. Dennison wins the header though. Birmingham picks it up. He's got Francis back out on the right hand side in loads of space. Now Topley with the effort from the edge of the area, curling effort. It's gone just over the bar. And we are still 2-0 down here. It's time to make some changes, I believe. I think we're going to make 3 of them. Going to get Graham Shields off because he's having a poor game. So we're going to get Whitlow on. We are also going to bring Toledo on because Connor Clyde's actually playing the better of the two. But we'll get Jaden Heskey on. Where else are we not performing left? So, yeah, we'll get Charlie Carter on. We're going to have a shout at the boys as well. We're going to demand more from them because they're just not performing at the minute. Anyway, Isaiah rolls it out to McMinn. Finds Dennison in to Clyde. Clyde goes long looking for Narbe. Narbe should get there first, and indeed he does. He's into the penalty area. It's a great tackle by Hill, but Carter's there just off the bench, and he's put it just wide of the post. And we are struggling here in this game against the team third bottom of the league. We've got half an hour left to get anything out of this, and this has been a really, really bad performance. Toledo, Clyde, Carter. Carter looks for Whitlow. Now this is Whitlow's sort of area. Can he finish? He can, of course he can. It's Antonius Whitlow with his 24th goal of the season. Pulls one back for Glenavon to make it 2-1 with 30 minutes remaining. That is exactly the type of goal that Whitlow scores for us. And we're straight into another highlight. It's Hill, but that's easy for Dennison. Chancey Fye to Donnelly. Donnelly advancing forward, finds Clyde. It's into Narbe. Narbe's got Whitlow ahead of him again. Can Whitlow get his second? It's a good save by Bell in goal. That's much better play from us, though, to get into that position. But we do have the corner. It's going to be McCann. Takes it. It's towards that near post. Headed clear by McKinley, though, but Narbe picks it up. Back to McMinn. Now Chancey Fye. Okay, we'll end the highlight there. Chancey Fye with the free kick. We're still only 5 minutes after we've scored here. We're coming into the game with a lot more highlights. It's now Donnelly, the left back, into Clyde. Finds Chancey Fye. Forward to Toledo. Now Dennison looking over the top. It's another shocking pass over the top, and it's easily mopped up by the Ballymonallard defence. But we have won it back, and now it's McCann. It's tackled by Shevlin, though. Shevlin finds Birmingham. Switches the play over towards Little. Little now advancing down the right-hand side, looking to get this ball into the box. And he does. It's towards Birmingham, headed clear by McMinn, though. Further on by McCann, but Topley is going to pick it up. Topley over the top towards Birmingham, inside the area again, and Birmingham gets his effort off, but it's hit the side netting. And it remains a 2-1 to Ballymonallard. We are coming back into the game, though. We are getting there. We have given up a lot of XG to a team who are struggling in the league this season. Chancey Fye with the ball over the top towards Carter. Narbe is going to get there instead. Pulls it back now to Carter. Carter with the effort. It's hit the crossbar. Did the goalkeeper get a touch on that to put it onto the crossbar? I'm not quite sure. But we are now piling the pressure on. It's McCann with the corner on our right-hand side. Towards that 6-yard area. Chanchy Fai gets his head on it, but it's gone just over the bar again. And we're getting highlights thick and fast here now. Toledo misses that, but Dennison over the top towards Nabe. Now he's one-on-one with the keeper. He's got to score. He's bit more composure there. A bit more composure from the league's top scorer, by the way. And we're in. But as things stand, we have got 5 minutes remaining to rescue anything from this game in a season that we've absolutely dominated the league. Toledo, the playmaker, over the top looking for McMinn. McMinn's just given up there, I think. He's not particularly fit. Chancey Fai goes diving in. Birmingham now coming forward for Balmain Allard. Inside to Shevlin. Shevlin over the top towards Ferry, and Ferry he's put his foot through it as well. It's no composure from these strikers. And we've now got a minute and a half to rescue something from this game. Birmingham. Is he just looking for the corner? No, he finds Shevlin instead. Pulls it across for Ferry, and Patrick Ferry makes it 3-1 to Balmain Allard, and we have deserved this defeat. We have absolutely deserved to get beaten here. It's been a great performance from Balmain Allard, and our tiredness is starting to catch up with us, and we are gonna succumb to a defeat here, which is disappointing, especially when XG wise we are now ahead on the XG. We should have won that. We've just conceded 3 sloppy goals to Patrick Ferry, and I'm disappointed with them. I am disappointed with the boys. That was not the best of performances. Cliftonville probably won. No, Cliftonville drew, so we've only actually dropped a point. We're still 16 points clear with the 12 games remaining. But like I said, as things stand, it does look like we are cruising towards that league title. So I'm gonna come back for probably the last day of the season, maybe the Northern Irish Cup final if we get there again, and wrap the season up. But guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, please remember to hit that like button. Like I've said before, it does help me out. I've noticed in the last couple of days, the episodes that I've been releasing, I'm starting to get a lot more views, a lot more likes. My subscriber count is also going up quite considerably as well. So thank you very, very much to all of you for that. But just please remember to keep hitting that like button because it does help me out. But guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time.